Thank you all for coming tonight. We're always happy to see our fellow citizens turn out. First order on our agenda tonight is our invocation. We always start off our meeting, and I'll ask Commissioner Earl Harvey to lead us in that. Commissioner Harvey.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all the many blessings that you give to us. We're especially grateful tonight as we've seen your mighty hand in the things that we cannot imagine, Lord. You're always there. You make a way. You protect us. You love us. And we pray, God, that as a body, we will move forward in love and peace to one another. There's so much that we need to do in this county. We're grateful that we have the opportunity to serve. And we pray, God, for your wisdom and your favor in all that we do. We love you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Sheriff Cassidy, would you lead us in the pledge to our flag?
Yes, sir. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Now, sir, it appears our members are in their seats, so time for the roll call. Board opens. Please indicate your attendance here tonight. Everyone checked in? Take roll.
21 present, 3 absent.
Thank you. First, next thing on our agenda tonight, proclamations, and it's to honor Sullivan County 4-H 2024 Loafer Bowl recognitions. Chris, Randy, are you here? If Chris isn't here, so I'll handle this as well. Evidently Chris is not here tonight, so I'll let you, and I'm sorry, I don't know your name, you'll tell us who you are. We have met, and I apologize. As soon as Chris was here. We got a lot of 4-H here tonight, and we're going to these awards, and I have a certificate. How do you want to do this? I'll tell you what, let's do this. John Sullivan, are you in the room? If not in the room, Andrew, would you take pictures for us, Mayor? John, you can use them. We'd like to have pictures. This is a big deal. And we want to recognize their outstanding achievement. So, I will call the names if you will come up and go right over to this wall and take your school picture with your classmates. John, you going to do that? I'll get my phone back from Andrew. He may use it in ways that I wouldn't want to. So, first off, we have Willa Perry, Anna Carpenter, Anna, you here, Anna, if you will, and stand up. And let me read the certificate that we're awarding them first, and thank you for coming up. Sullivan County Board of Commissioners Certificate of Accomplishment. This certificate is hereby presented to Anna Carpenter, Miller Perry Elementary School, 4th grade, in recognition of their outstanding performance and achievement in securing the first place in the Eastern Regional Global Bowl. This remarkable accomplishment was achieved on May 16, 2024. We commend your dedication, hard work, and passion for excellence. Your achievement is a testament to the power of and commitment and perseverance. Congratulations to you, Anna, on a well-deserved success. I'll bring this over to you when we get the rest of your class. Josie Wasserman, come up and join in. Josie wasn't able to be with us tonight, but we'll send her certificate. We'll give it to Anna. Next for Miller Perry, Noah Walden. Next, Miller Perry, great. Preston Baker. Let me go over and give these young people Mark Burke. Yeah, I thought we did. Okay, we need to get a picture of those, John, our fifth grade military. Yeah, there you go. John, I'd like for me to be in that picture. There's a lot of people I'm talking with.
I didn't think I said
Thank you, ladies. In Sullivan High, sixth grade. Bella Baker. Sullivan High, sixth grade. Ellie Carpenter. Sullivan High, sixth grade. Jay Cooper. Sullivan High School, sixth grade. Sophie Perry. We have all of those, I believe. This is all not seventh grade. We'll get them pictures. Thank you, ladies. Okay, next up on the list is Sullivan Middle School, seventh grade. And the first award recipient, Jude R. Sullivan High School, seventh grade, Emmeline Ashley. Sullivan High School, seventh grade, James Sanchez. Mayor, that's sorry. I'm sorry. Principal, correct. And the last one, so, Bryson Johnson. I have your name, I can do it. Let's get this picture. Okay. Congratulations.
So friends, I just wanted to tell you what these boys and girls did to get to this point, okay? So the County Clover Bowl was held on April 29th and 30th. So all these teams advanced from that day. And with the following teams, as we saw, progressing forward to compete at the Regional Clover Bowl, which was held May 16th at the University of Tennessee. This is no small feat. There are 60 pages of questions for each grade level. that they have studied and know back and forwards. So just for the fourth grade alone, there were 17 fourth grade teams, a total of 68 total participants, with military fourth grade coming out on top. And then the fifth grade had 19 teams with 76 total participants, with Sullivan County bringing that home. And sixth grade had 13 teams, 52 total participants, first place again there. And the seventh grade had 13 teams, bringing home fourth place out of 52 total participants. That is a great feat, friends, and they worked very hard to get to this point. So let's give them a round of applause.
That's great. We just had a few people that weren't here, and I can't congratulate you enough on your helping these young people. You deserve a round of applause for it. This is the first time in my history that we've had this many accomplished young people with us. And so you all have set the bar really high for the next class. Those of you in fourth, fifth grade have this to look forward to in sixth and seventh grade. So thank you for being here with us. Thank you to the parents, the team, support them, supported them through this whole process. It's not easy on parents. Not easy to be a parent today, and I congratulate you on the attention you've given to your children. You will reap many benefits. That is true. We would love for you to stay with us. If you would like to get on with your life, you're welcome to do that. Again, thank you for coming. Very good. I believe we're ready to continue. Thank you for your indulgence. Hopefully, those of you standing around the wall will be able to find a seat later. The next item of business are appointments. Okay. You can't hear, we're going to have to turn up the volume. Can you hear me now? I could do a telephone. Can you hear me? Okay, the next item on our agenda are appointments. And I, this time, notifying the commission that I am taking recommendation of the Local Utilities District Board of Commissioners to reappoint or to appoint Tim Earls to a term on the Local Utilities District that will end July 31st, 2024, filling out a term. Also taking the recommendation of the Bloomingdale Utilities District Board Commissioners and appointing Commissioner Scotty Barrett's term to a term ending September 1, 2024. And let that be read in the record, Madam Clerk. Next up is the reappointment to our 911 board. The District Board of Sullivan County Emergency Communications District. It's been recommended by the Board of Directors that Lynn Stewart and Drew Deacons be reappointed. The term will expire on September 30th, 2024. We don't have that on the board, do we? We have it on the board?
It's all on there together.
Okay. Can't vote on them all together. So what we'll do is have a roll call. I'll take a motion because this requires ratification of the county commission. Motion by Gardner, second by Locke, to appoint Lynn Stewart and Drew Deacon to the terms of September 30th, 2024. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, Commissioner Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just wondering if any of these folks were here tonight, or if we could just put a name with them.
Drew, Ms. Beasley, or Drew, or Lynn here tonight.
I'm here.
Here. Here's our director, and Lynn's in the back there.
Thank you. I just thought maybe, we could put a face with a name. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The motion is adopted. Item number 4, the appointment of Howard Rice, Tony Callaway, Ed Bush, and Anita Long to the Sullivan County Historic Zoning Division. These appointments must also be approved by the county commission. Does anyone wish to remove anybody from that list before we vote on them as a whole? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval. Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Calvin, seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion is adopted. And that concludes our appointments for this evening's meeting. Next up, the approval of commission minute meetings, commission minute of June 13, 2024, work session and rezoning hearing of June 20th, 2024, regular session. We have a motion. Motion by me to adopt, second by Gardner. Any discussion? That's on the board, so the board opens. Cast your vote on the motion to adopt. Everyone voted. Anyone wish to change your vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
22 yes, 2 absent.
I received the necessary majority. The minutes are adopted. Next up on the agenda, the approval of no republics. As you know, the clerk will read the list of applicants for no republic is published. And if you have an objection to anyone on the list, you may object and raise your hand and object, and that application will be taken off to be considered another time. Madam Clerk, read the list.
Stephanie Archer, Joy I. Atkins, Christina M. Blair, Shannon Boland, Edgar Mitchell Braley, Monica T. Branham,
Roger L. Harder, Joseph Wayne Castle, Toscany D. Cope, Damon Wayne DePew, Alexandra Renee Dowdle, Jeannie A. Everhart, Tamara Fitzpatrick, Nikki G. Foster, Andrea Harless, Norma J. Henderson, Amanda Joy Hobbs, Tim Horn, Sheila Hauser, Teresa Gale Helps, Melanie P. Hutton, Deborah L. Larson, Marla L. Lockwood, Sandra Madison, Daniel B. Minor, Charles L. Moffitt IV, Christopher J. Oliver, Samuel Philip Owens, Karen Annette Pearson, Tanya Ann Quillen, Leanne Sadler, Michelle Marie Shanks, Melissa Brooks Sherkey, Tyler James Smith, Rachel Smithson, Ramona Stidham, Deborah S. Sonny, Lauren Tanner, Sheila Jeanette Thompson, Danielle Thompson, Kelly A. Vance, Amy Denise Ward, Sheila White, Claudel B. Williams, and Brett Andrew Zook.
You've heard the list of the objections. Commissioner Cobb, you move adoption, second by Commissioner Cross. This vote's on the board. When the board opens, cast your vote on the motion to adopt. Everyone voted? Anyone wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
22 yes, 2 absent.
Have received the necessary majority, the list is adopted as read. Next up on our agenda are our public comment section. Mr. Cross, you'll bring to the list to sign up. I would remind the public we're happy to have you here and happy to hear your comments. But by our rule, we are limited to 30 minutes total in our public comment section, so we move on to the county business. And each of our guests will be asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes. We don't enforce that rule really strictly. If you're making a point, we're not going to cut you off. We want to hear what you have to say, but if I do that, if you'll think about wrapping up your comments, we would appreciate that to allow us to move on to the next person. I would ask you also that we ask you to share your opinions with us about issues that face Sullivan County, and maybe things that have happened in Sullivan County or things you want to happen in Sullivan County. But we do ask you to leave personalities out of your comments. In our country today, we have too much turmoil, and so we ask you to give us your opinion and voice your individual thoughts, your individual personalities of a venue. We're happy to hear your opinion. And I apologize for this 20th century sign-up sheet, which is a piece of notebook, but we usually do better than that. David Ewing, you're up first. Mr. Ewing, if you will come forward and give us your name and address for electronic record. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. My name is David Ewing Jr. I reside at 209 Partridge Court, Kingsport, Tennessee. Commission, I represent Plumfield, some of the young men and women behind the parents, some of the coaches that are here. Wanted to put out a note, the agreement that we received on 11 July between the Commission and Plumfield Little League. Myself, my wife, our treasurer, Mr. Venable, and also Commissioners Beans, Cross, White, Leonard, and Cole were in attendance. We held a meeting to come to a consensus on how we can come together and keep our league rolling, and also allow for the community and the county to put things into place that they need. Recycling, things like that, those are good things for the county, they're good things for the environment, and also the new facilities at the middle school that we're excited about. 4 or 5 points we took away. We'll continue to have access to the 2 fields, the 2 smaller fields in the back for what we call coach pitch and t-ball. And we'll have primary use of the 2 fields at the middle school, primary not exclusive. We recognize that other folks might need to use those fields. Sullivan County is going to be responsible for putting up a hurricane the old fields, so the kids don't go over and play with giant machinery. That's a good thing, right? The Little League one of the Little League will remain in possession of the concession stand located at Vernon Webb so that we can sell hot dogs and soda, things like that. The Little League will continue to maintain the grounds and maintenance of those two fields, keep them up to spec, make sure they're safe, make sure the insurance coverage is covered on those, so we're all up to date on that. And we'll also provide maintenance on the new fields for middle school to bring them up to spec so they become safe, and our insurance can then cover us to use those as well. As far as comment that goes on that, while we question the decisions behind the actions taken thus far in removing Longville Little League and destroying our fields and assets, without detailed planning discussions, we ask the community and the county as a whole for continued help. We need the help to keep our league alive. In the short term, we need help in terms of manpower and machinery to rebuild the two middle school fields. We're going to make those things as much as we can for the 2 years until we get the new facilities taken care of. We're going to bootstrap this and do the best we can for not just young men and women, but for the community and counties in general. We want to be a good example of what can be done. We again ask for partnership, including ongoing discussions related to baseball and softball, and scheduling information so that we can be successful during the transition period to the new facilities at the middle school. That again, we state will be a wonderful addition to the community for our young men and women. Members of the Longville Little League are happy to continue to work with elected officials of Sullivan County on this project going forward. That's all I have. Just wanted to make that statement, and if there's any questions for me, I'm happy to help out.
Thank you, Mr. Union. I appreciate you being here tonight. We always want to hear opinions. We don't ask questions during this time, but obviously any commissioner in the room would be happy to meet with you and
Thanks, sir.
your people.
Feel free.
Interested in that. Thank you for coming. I was remiss. Ms. Torville, our Director of Planning and Zoning, had asked me to make an announcement earlier that there is not any action tonight on the public hearing that was held in our Eastern District and on South Holston River. We had a great public hearing up there, but the County Commission will not be taking any action. Amber, should I add anything to that?
We're still seeking public input and hope to get more input from the community and take it back to the Planning Commission. So we're on track.
Well, thank you. We had a public hearing that was excellent, and heard the public's concern about the development of the South Holston River, and Amber and her team are trying to move that along in an orderly way, and the opinions of the public are extremely important in the development of that, I think, fourth best fishing area in the United States, just recently announced. Okay, we'll continue on with our public hearing. Jonathan Fields. Mr. Fields, if you will come up, and I shall forever be in your debt for making that mistake, Jonathan, and I'm embarrassed, and my kids will probably beat me about the head and shoulders when I get on.
I hope they don't, Mr. Mayor, and I appreciate the humbleness and the hospitality you always show, no matter who's in here, whether it's teachers or whoever it is. I appreciate your leadership and hospitality. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Jonathan, if you'll give us your name and address for our electronic record, please.
Yes, Jonathan Fields, 138 Edric Drive, Kingsport.
Thank you. You're ready.
7663. I apologize for how I look this evening. I'm not usually this big, but when I get in front of a group of people, I get nervous and just swell up. It just kind of happens. So I apologize in advance. I've attended all of the budget meetings that we've had, or that you all have had with regards to the school budget, and I appreciate very much the questions that have been asked, the discussions we've had, the things that you've batted back to our Board of Education. I think that's healthy. I think it's a good part of a fiscal discussion. Your job is to be accountable for the big pile of money that is collected in Sullivan County, and I appreciate that you all are doing that. I have sat back and watched as different things have come to us in our budget process as hurdles. One of the big hurdles that we had to jump was Why do you have a big pile of money? Why do you have a big pile of money sitting in your budget? I feel like that's kind of been addressed. There were concerns over the comptroller. What the comptroller thought about how we were trying to use our budget. Ms. Bonner, I think, put that somewhat to rest. The Attorney General, I think, has even put that somewhat to rest. There may be other questions there. I'm certainly not an expert on budgeting. We have been asked to not compare ourselves to the city, which I think is fair. I think it's fair for the commission to say, you know, we're never going to catch up with the city. And that's the one that kind of hit home with me when I left the last time. So I did a real scientific experiment. I got my electronic device out and I pulled up Google. I'm pretty good with Google. And I Googled Washington County, Tennessee salaries. That's a county. That's a neighboring county. That's our sister county. And then I pulled up Sullivan County. And I very scientifically sat there with my limited knowledge and power, sat there and compared the two. And I will admit this, I selfishly started by looking at my own salary, which is public record. And last year, my salary was $97,836. So I wondered what that would have looked like in Washington County. And when I looked at Washington County, my salary would have been $109,408 with a bachelor's degree. I would have got $6,000 more for having a doctorate. I would have got about $3,000 more for an ABA attendance. And I would have got about $500 more for the number of unique, Washington County word, unique learners, bringing my salary to $118,838. But that's selfish of me to look at that, and I'm certainly not here advocating for that. If I can't live off $98,000 a year and feed this thing right here, then I've got a problem. So I went and looked at our teachers. A teacher with 10 years and master's degree, Sullivan County, $55,986. Washington County, Tennessee, $58,344 last year. And this coming school year, it's going to be $60,439. I decided to dig a little bit deeper. I looked at my custodian. The custodian that had been with us for 10 years started out $13 an hour. If they're starting out this year, they make $14.50 an hour. In Washington County, they make $16.32 an hour, which is still very sad for what a custodian in the school does. So I wanted to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, and I encourage each of you all to check me on this, to pull up Washington County, Tennessee county school system, and we'll compare it to Sullivan County, Tennessee's school system. I appreciated the fact that when it came time to get our sheriff's deputies, EMS, clerical employees, highway department, all of those other folks in Sullivan County are ready. And I want to make sure I get the quote right. It was said in this room, we have to take care of our people. I sat at home and clapped. Heck yeah. They don't come any better than our sheriff. They don't come any better than our sheriff's deputies. They don't come any better than our highway department, our EMS, our other employees in Sullivan County. All working hard. We also said our employees deserve a raise to address the cost of living and increasing insurance costs. I applauded that. I think that's great. They deserve more. They deserve more. I'm not here to advocate for them. I'm here to advocate for my custodian, my cafeteria workers, my teachers, the folks who are not making a comparable wage to a county school system beside us. I think that's comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. We've tried our best to respond to every hurdle that's been put to us as the Board of Education and as the Department of Education. But it feels like, to me, and I can't speak for all these people behind me, but it feels like every time we climb across one of those hurdles, someone is secretly finding another hurdle. There's a resentment that it feels like that the only thing teachers want is they want to come up to you and give me. I will. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
But I guess my question would be, my ending question would be, are we your people? Are we, the Department of Education, your people? and I ask you to reflect on that question as you consider and vote on Sullivan County Department of Education budget. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the next person we have is Melissa Keith. Ms. Keith? Would you give us your name and address for our electronic link?
Sure, my name's Melissa Keith, and I live at 347 Lake and Heath Drive in Buffalo. All right. Good evening. My name's Melissa Keith, and I've been a resident of Lumpville for 10 years. And for the last 8 years, I've been raising my children in this community. And out of those 8 years, 4 of them have been spent watching our kids play at Bernie Webb. And not only that, but my husband and I have had the privilege of coaching baseball and softball. When we heard about Bernie Webb being destroyed for a recycling center, I thought to myself, who's responsible for this, as Sullivan County doesn't help in any way with Bernie Webb. I know one of our members of the Little League community would never make this decision, as we all spend a lot of our time at the field making it a place where our kids can enjoy with their friends. And we can enjoy with other families. A couple weeks ago, when pictures surfaced of our softball field being destroyed, I physically felt sick to my stomach. I felt sad for the girls who I just coached this past season who was looking forward to playing the next season. I just want to let you know if I get emotional and I cry, it's because I'm frustrated, not because I'm sad. Who was looking forward to playing the next season, improving on their skills, and building their friendships with their teammates on the field. Taking away the chance for these kids to forget about everything that's happened that day and just come out and have fun and play ball with their friends, you've ruined this chance, and without even any consideration of how it will affect our kids of the community who are part of Lumpville Little League. You haven't considered families with multiple kids who literally hang out at the ball fields all day because one sibling may have one game at 10 and another at 12. Letting our kids run with other siblings around the field was a luxury for us as families. It wasn't just lifetime memories being made, it was a way of life for many, many Lumpville families over the season and years. Why you had to choose Bernie Webb and destroy a Lumpville landmark that was provided for families for many, many years, I think over 70 to be exact is beyond me. You can have possibly had our youth in mind when making this awful decision that thankfully I feel backlash, and I'm so proud of our community for stepping up today and speaking on behalf of our youth. Our kids deserve to have a safe place to play and create memories in one location and not split up between miles in between to race from one location to the other to get the kids to their practices and games. Do better for our kids in the community. I sincerely hope come election time, the polls are a direct reflection of this situation right here, and you'll think twice about a decision that affects so many families and kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Mr. Bob Johnson. Welcome, Mr. Johnson. If you will give us your name and address for our electronic record.
I'm Bob Dodson. I live at 311 Bristol Avenue in Bluntville, and I've lived here most of my life. I know quite a few people here. My daughter grew up with Matt and Michael Cole. I go to church with the gentleman sitting right back here, which I want to thank Mark for his kind ear. And I have also spoken with Ms. Crosswhite, who also want to give time to thank for her kind ear when I've been talking to her. I am very disturbed by, and you'll have to overlook me because I am a little frustrated, but I want to be polite. But I feel like that there is a lot of tone deafness when decisions are being made that concerns the betterment of our children and the betterment of the people that live in this community. Bernie Webb has been a part of our life for over 30 years. I have coached there. I have given my time, my blood, my sweat. I have put in French drain fields under the major league field. I've remodeled the concession stand. I built the roof over the concession stand. I've remodeled the press boxes at that field. My children played there. My grandchildren played. I raised 4 kids, 2 girls, 2 boys. I've got 12 grandsons. Yes, we like to proliferate. But, you know, that field is more than just a piece of land to a lot of people, Mayor and Commissioners. It's a part of our lives. It's a part of the history of this town. And the tone deafness with the decision that was made that affected so many people in our families. You know, this gentleman that spoke a moment ago, he was talking about teachers. And yes, teachers are dramatically underpaid. And people that work in the school system need to be appreciated a whole lot more. That's why I'm not teaching right now. But, you know, parents also need to be considered. The lady before me very eloquently spoke, and she was telling you that you know, there's parents here that have multiple children. You know, as you get older and you succeed in life, and I am in that, you know, that age group now, so I can say that, you know, you have a few extra luxuries in life that when you were in your 20s, you do not. When you're in your 20s and you're raising multiple children, $50 for an extra tank of gas means $50 when you don't have $50. Our Little League, the president, you know, and his wife have, you know, helped parents that didn't have the money to put their children involved. And when you expect these parents to try to divide up in between their 2 or 3 children that they have playing and drive an extra 2 or an extra 3 or an extra 6 miles for practices and ball games, that's expensive to them. I know, I raised 4 kids. I remember going to the Chevron station and buying the 2-for-1 hot dogs because I didn't have the money to feed all of them. I remember those times. My question is, do you all? Because you should. You represent those people. When you're making these decisions, you need to take these types of things into consideration. Why you chose Bluntful's Bernie Webb Park? I know there's been a lot of promises made that we're going to have this big, nice field, and that's great. I'm not all against that. I'm for that. But what I'm against is you got your cart before your horse. You didn't have those fields ready, and now Bluntful Little League is paying the price. I was told that the ARPA regulations, you have 3 different dates on the ARPA regulations. They all end December of 24, except for the final, which is December of 26. Why couldn't we put this off? Why did we have to destroy a field? Why wasn't there better communication? Why weren't people notified the way they should have been? You could put articles in the newspaper. Newspaper is an archaic form of communication anymore, and everyone here knows it. There should have been a public forum. My question is, where was the resolution? Who drew up the resolution? Where is the resolution for this action? Another thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to end this, is that the equipment, the lighting, which, by the way, I was there when that was put in too, the buildings, the batting cage, you all didn't pay for that. This county didn't pay for it. We did. And now it's been indiscriminately torn down. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal if, again, you hadn't got your cart before your horse and we'd had a place to go. And then my question, this is the final thing that I have to say, but my question is this. Once these new fields are completed, does Bluntful Little League have the express use of those fields? Does Bluntful Little League have first call on those fields? Or are we going to have to get in line behind everybody else? Because at Bernie Webb, we had exclusivity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, on the list is Barry Meyer. Barry? Welcome, Barry. If you would give us your name, address, and electronic record, please.
Sure, my name is Barry Ray Myers II, 156 Polo Drive in Blanco. Hopefully you recognize my name because I'm a long-standing member of Sullivan County and Blanco. My family raised here. This has been my life. For a very short period of time, I've lived here. I played ball at Bernie Webb, and now my kids play ball at Bernie Webb. I'm a coach. Oh, it feels so good. A lot of you in this room have probably had that experience. And it's really sad to go to Bernie Webb right now. If you've not been, I would encourage you to visit. It's really sad because I was also privileged to coach the All-Stars this year. We were at District 5 All-Stars with my sons, and we were having practice just a couple of weeks before the softball field was taken away. And I was really excited to read and see and hear about these big plans at Blanco Middle School, former Blanco Middle School. I've even now seen some of the drawings, and it's really awesome. It's great, but they're not there. They're just drawings. And the interim plan that Mr. Ewing mentioned, I'm really excited about that. Mayor Venable, Commissioners, thank you for working with us to try to have some sort of interim plan. It's not going to be easy. I have 3 of my 4 kids who like to play baseball, and they're not all the same age. Funny how that works. You don't have triplets. And so being in those 2 places at one time is going to be very difficult. Financially, trying to run concession stands, if you know the logistics of that, being in 2 places, is going to be near impossible because you can almost not ever man 1 concession, much less more. And if you look at the way that Little League works, that's how we pay for it. If you consider the impact of our kids not knowing, are we going to have a ball? Are we going to have all the questions? You know, I'm a head coach. I'm nothing more than a head coach. But this year I had 11 kids, and all those 11 kids showed up dutifully to practice, expected me to do something for them, teach them, pour into them, be a leader, be a role model. And then at the end of the season, all the questions I got were, hey, is Bernie Webb going away? What's going to happen? We can do better for our kids. We can give them answers that actually we know when we make a plan. I'm disappointed that the plan hasn't been done very well. I'm disappointed in the leadership of this community, and I don't normally say that because I respect leadership in this community. You know my family name, you know that. But I'm very disappointed. And I don't know what next season looks like. I don't know what fall ball looks like. I don't know what any of that looks like. But I know my 2 sons that are back here wearing their jerseys have those questions. I don't have answers as a dad. I ask you to help us with the plan. I ask you to support us, recognizing that we have a lot of work to do to get even the bare minimums done for the upcoming season. And I encourage you, again, to visit Bernie Webb and look. Especially if you played there, it's heart-wrenching to see what that facility looks like now. And then I encourage you to go to middle school and look to see what has to be done to make it workable and usable. And then I ask you, come be a part. If you're going to take Bernie Webb, which you've already done, please help us make a transition that works for whatever comes next. I say that as a coach. I say that as a father. And I say that as a resident of this community. It's not just me as a dad. It's not just me. This is community. It says Bluntbill Little League. And I'm so proud of that. I don't want to have any other name on my chest when I'm coaching Little League. Don't make us change that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up, Rodney Patty. Rodney, you here? There you are. Name and address for the record, Rodney.
My name is Rodney Padgett, 1125 Gottman Shoals, Grove, Tennessee. Got a lot to say, so I'll try to get at it. In regards to the school budget, the 15% raises for teachers, I just want to play a little game. Did you know? County employees have received 5% raises in 3 of the last 4 years, and I bet that they're probably going to have that discussion this year. County property tax revenue going to county school systems has decreased from the actual 26.3 million in the annual report of 2017 to last year's projected amount of 17 million. That's a $9 million difference. Sales tax revenue going to the school system has increased from 12.9 million to 16.6 million that time. That's a 3.7 million difference to make up for it. Also, did you know that salaries for teachers have actually increased 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%, 8.4%, 1%, and 3.5% in that time frame, making about a 22.8% change. And no tax increases have come from the county for any of that. It's all come out of the school system. How long do you think that they can do that? Did you also know that in 2012, whenever the Pinnacle was being discussed and the TIF was being discussed, there was some banter about how by the time 2016 to 2018 rolled around, there would be school system sales tax revenue increases from that. Didn't mention that that would be negated by taking property tax down and throwing sales tax in its place. And I think the amount was millions, and I saw an article from 2012 that said 2 million, but regardless, as soon as our sales tax increase started happening, we started hearing this drum roll of we need to cut property tax. Give the people the raise. They deserve it. We need it. We're losing too many teachers to surrounding counties that are better funded. And in the meantime, we need to be talking to the state level as to how to address the problem in the future. The second topic I would like to breach is Little League. The new fields are in the design phase right now. I question whether they'll be available by 2026. I'd love to hear something on that. The new multi-million-dollar recycling center is being put on a piece of property that has no deed and has had no deed since at least 1975, according to notes in the property assessor's office. And I'm wondering how you can do that whenever, if I wanted to do a major, build my property at home, I would probably have to go get a zoning request or a building permit or something along those lines. There's really no reasonable notice given to them. There was no placards put up on the property. The neighbors probably might have known it was going in, might have not. Obviously, I knew that it had been talked about whenever we were here talking about the November bond that was passed. And the last thing I would say, and this goes to some of you, because I'm asking if anybody would take it on, and I'm also saying this to the leadership of Bluffville Little League. I would say that if at all possible, why don't you put a request in for a resolution that would allow Bluffville Little League, a nonprofit, purchase the 2 remaining fields, concession stand, clubhouse, parking area, using Tennessee law HB 1857 and SB 1862 as assigned in public chapter 721 at a nominal fee without public bidding or notice.
Thank you, Rodney. That concludes my sign-up sheet. So with that, we will declare the public comment section of our agenda closed. Madam Clerk. Next up on our agenda is the consent calendar. And the calendar I have has item 1 and 3 on consent, and I'm told that item 2 was also to be on consent calendar sponsored by Commissioner Crosswhite. Is that correct, Commissioner Crosswhite?
The sponsor matter was taken, but that is correct.
It was supposed to be on consent.
Yes, sir.
Is there an objection to consent? Without objection, item 2 will be added to the consent calendar, which you'll vote on. We have a motion by Commissioner Akers for adoption of the consent calendar. Have a second? Commissioner Sullivan, second. So, any discussion, as you know, it requires a unanimous vote for us to adopt the consent calendar. So, when the board opens, please cast your vote on the motion to adopt the consent calendar. Everyone voted? Anyone wish to change your vote? Madam Clerk. take the vote.
22 yes, 2 absent.
Have received necessary majority. Consent calendar is adopted as presented. That completes that part of our agenda. Next up, the regular resolutions agenda for our regular monthly meeting. First up is here. Item number 4. Commissioner Van O'Brien, I recognize you on item number 4 under new business.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 4 is a resolution to recognize the remaining 24 summer learning camp grant funds and roll those over into the 25 general purpose school budget. Last week I didn't have a lot of information about that, and that's on me, and we had a lot of questions, so I've got more information now. These summer learning camps affect 3 schools, Ketron, Rock Springs, Bluff City. They're required by law to have these, the school system is required by law to have these summer learning camps. They go for 17 days. It's quite a bit of expense to run these summer learning camps for 17 days. This is the same grant that I carried last year, same resolution I carried last year. Any money that's left over that's not used goes back to the state of Tennessee. There's no way to use it for any other reason except for the purpose that it was meant for. There's 132 employees that participated in these summer learning grants. So if you look at the personnel lines and you divide that by 132 employees, it's about $5,000 a person. That, on average, there were administrators, teachers, nurses, school resource officers, custodians, bus drivers, all kinds of personnel involved in this, so it's not an enormous amount of money. And the problem that I think we encountered last week was this: summer learning camps go from one budget year to the next. So of course they take place in the summer through June and into July, so because of that, the money had to be rolled over from one budget year to the next. And that is what complicates things a little bit, because it has to go from one budget year to the next. And that's all this resolution is doing. And because of there's a need to reimburse the school system for these funds and to fulfill the requirements of the grant, I'd ask for waiver rules and vote on this tonight. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them.
If you want this on first reading, then
I'd like to ask for waiver rules.
Commissioner Van Overbooks waive the rules of immediate introduction and adoption. Item number 4, seconded by Commissioner Crosswhite. Any discussion? Any questions for Commissioner Van? Seeing none, it appears you're ready to vote. When the board opens, cast your vote on item number 4. It requires 16 votes to pass. Everyone voted. Anyone wish to change your vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
22 yes, 2 absent.
I received the necessary majority. Item number 4 is adopted. Next up, item number 5. Commissioner Glover, you're recognized on item number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This resolution to assist the flooding, the funding to implement on emergency flight water to current Sullivan County farmers and livestock that promotes good health of livestock in current drought conditions. This resolution is exactly similar to what we did in October for the farmers of last year, where the ponds dried up, had no water source for their cattle or livestock. Basically the same thing. Fire department came in and filled out an application to the EMS department. Fire department local, close to them, make a call, they come out and assist them in water relief, fill the pond up. Did change one thing in this resolution, whereas an appropriation of $25,000 is requested to be provided from the General Fund 101 to assist in appropriating a donation of $140 for each truckload of water that's provided for the farmers. Like I said, it's basically the same thing we did in October of last year. It helped a lot of folks. Hopefully we'll get some rain in the next couple of weeks to assist with this problem. Yesterday, got a call from 2 farmers, had 3 ponds, 2 of them is done completely dried up. The other one is just about dried up. He's gonna have to sell his stock within the next few days if we don't get some sufficient rain. So that's what this resolution is. I can read all of it for you if you want me to, but I know the biggest part of you all are familiar with this that we get in October. This resolution will be for $25,000, whereas application request consideration of emergency supply of water must be made on or before 12 p.m. to September 30th, 2024.
Mr. Glover for the immediate, waive the reading for the immediate introduction and adoption. Item number 5, second by Commissioner King. Any discussion? Commissioner Cross, you're recognized.
I'd just like to be added as a co-sponsor for this.
Without objection.
Everyone voting in the affirmative will be the same.
Without objection, all those voting in the affirmative will be listed as co-sponsors on item number 5. Any further discussion? Mr. Means, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Glover, where exactly do they go to apply for this?
Be going to the EMS department, EMA, EMA.
They'll go to their local EMA?
Now, be coming over to the Bluntville EMA office. The application I do have here for the record that they will be applying and filling out. And like I said, that will go back to their local fire department that's the closest to them.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Bean's office is familiar with this program because like I said, we done it last October.
Thank you. Further questions? Seeing none. The board open, cast your vote on item number 4. Or item number 5. We don't have that on the table, so I'm going to ask the clerk to call the roll on item number 5. It could take a voice vote, but since it's spending the money, we better have it on the record. So, Madam Clerk, would you take a vote on the motion? Would you take a vote on the motion to adopt item number 5?
Baker,
Yes.
Alton,
Yes.
Carr,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Crawford, Absent, Cross,
Yes.
Crosswhite,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Glover,
Yes.
Harvey,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Horn,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Block,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Means,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Slagle, Absent, Sim,
Yes.
Vanover,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Would anyone like to change their vote? 22 yes, 2 absent.
Never received necessary majority, item number 5 is adopted. Next up is item number 6, and item number 6, 7, 8, and 9 have to do with this year's budget. First up is item number 6, sponsor Chairman Akron. You're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman, and I'm glad you said it all. I'd like to just throw 6, 7, 8, 9 out there so we don't have to do them individually. Because as questions are coming up, we'll probably cross questions, and so I can explain the whole budget process. Is that appropriate?
You want to approve them?
Yes.
All in one vote?
No,
This is the first.
Yeah, this is just first reading, yes, sir.
This is first reading.
Yeah, yeah, so item 6, I'm gonna go through 6, 7, and 8.
Okay, that's fine, you're recognized to item 6, 7, and 8.
And 9.
And 9. And Commissioner does this, the budget is being passed out to the members. Mr. Akron.
Yeah, all right, thank you. So, as Joe said, items 6, 7, 8, and 9 all result without a budget. Normally it's 3 resolutions, but there's 4 here, and I kind of want to explain the process explain the dates coming up, and then get this, John's passing it out for everyone to look at. So, for everyone in the audience, just make sure you understand, there is no vote tonight. We have to present it tonight, and then in 10 days, we have a call meeting to vote on. So, item 6 is the resolution to amend the 24 fiscal year Sullivan County School appropriations to the amounts the Sullivan County School Board requested and approved by the Sullivan County Budget Committee. Item 7 is resolution authorizing appropriations for the various funds, departments, institutions, offices, and agencies of Sullivan County, Tennessee for the year beginning July 1st, 2024, and ending June 30, 2025. Item 8, a resolution setting the tax levy for Sullivan County, Tennessee for the year beginning July 1st, 2024, at a rate of $2.49.20 per 100 of assessed value. And then item number 9 are the appropriations for the nonprofit organizations for FY 2025. So there's some comments and dates, and then some obviously discussion. So tonight is first reading. Everyone's been handed out copies of the budget. There's 4 resolutions. On Thursday, July 25th at 3 o'clock is the public comment period that we have to have. That'll be in the July 20th circulation in the local newspapers, but it's also being announced now. On July 25th at 3 o'clock in this commission room is where the budget will be posted. People can come and make comments on it, kind of thing. And then do we have the time on July 30th?
Call meeting, July.
With it,
I'm sorry, 6 o'clock.
all right, July 30th, 6 p.m. is the call meeting to vote on these 4 resolutions. Now, why is there 4 resolutions on it? And then I saw Superintendent Carter back there, Sharon Price. As you know, we have a resolution to set the tax rate, a resolution for the appropriations, and a resolution for appropriations of nonprofits. Well, last year we got everything done by June 30th, so no problem. As you know, in our private act, on June 30th, if we do not have a school budget voted on by June 30th, then it reverts back to, and I'm going to use the same budget as long as it meets maintenance and whatever. As you know, we're still voting on the budget, so it's July 18th today. So we actually have to vote on kind of 2 school budgets. One in our regular budget, and then 2, the resolution you see is the one that they presented us to send in with our main budget and everything. So it's a process, it's a policy, but it's there, it's just in two sections and everything. The budget highlights, just for some quick math, does include on the property tax of $249. If you know what the tax rate this year of $240, it includes a 4-cent tax increase on the general fund, a 2-cent tax increase on the solid waste fund, a 2-cent tax increase on the highway fund, and a 1-cent tax increase towards the school fund. We are trying to use over $5.5 million of our reserve fund to help balance it, but that's going to put us in some pretty lean operations. And so that 9 cents is about $3.6 million to help cover that. And so that does include over 5% raise for the county employees. Now, in the school budget, that their raises are in a separate budget and everything. And so I'll open up for any questions or anything.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any questions? I know you would want to take this budget home, look at it, and I would comment, and stand to be corrected, but the 2 budgets you're dealing with require the same amount of appropriation. So as you look at them and determine what you want to do, they both appropriate the same amount of money. Commissioner Randall, you're recognized.
Thanks, sir. So item 6, just for clarification for Mr. Carter and Mr. Price back there, is a procedural thing in order to give the commission the ability to amend the school board budget at a later date.
That is correct.
And this will probably be on the 30th.
Yes, it's on the 30th, we'll have 4 votes. Yes. The tax rate, the appropriations, the nonprofit, and then the school budget with the pay raise in there. So essentially, there's 2 school budgets because of the 30th deadline. One with their normal appropriations and everything, and then 2, that they want to use their money for the pay raises and everything.
So they'll need to be prepared to give us their proposed budget.
Well, we have that. Yes, we have all that. All that is done.
And that's required on their part.
Nope. Not unless they want to change it at this point, Chuck.
Let me emphasize.
Yeah, come on up, Chuck. Yeah.
Let me emphasize, if I might add, is that we would fund an amount of money, and the school department will determine what that amount of money is spent on line item.
Yeah.
So it's a misnomer, we fund, or you fund, the commission, the bottom line, they determine how to spend.
Thank you.
Director Carter, good to see you.
Good to see you, Mayor, and everyone else on the commission. So just wanted to make sure that it's noted somewhere that, I know our budget's not approved by the 30th, but just wanted to be noted that we did have it submitted prior to the 30th, and so there wasn't much anything else that we could do.
No, it was just time and everything. Last year, we had a very smooth budget process. Everything was coming in on time. This year, we spent a lot of time working on the school budget. It just pushed us over, and the 30th, we were nowhere near ready for our budget, and it's just a semantics. It was recommended by the budget committee from 7-1 to bring it. So their budget hasn't changed. We're just kind of having to do it in two papers, so to speak, and everything.
And then, Chairman Price was just noting, or wanted to know, is the new budget included in this?
That's resolution 6.
Resolution
Yes,
6.
that's why there's 4 instead of 3, yes.
Looks from this budget, I was
Right, you're exactly correct, because it's got to be amended, sent in from the comptroller's office that way.
Anything that we need to do?
No, you're good, no, because you all sent us that budget, you're good. Yeah,
And if
yeah,
the
yeah.
amendment to the budget that we refer to by virtue of our act, the amendment applies to that and puts additional money on the school department.
Yeah, so essentially you're going to see what's in the main document, and then it's amended with resolution 6 to get it approved.
And then it will be voted on
The 30th.
separately?
Well, yeah, it'll be 4 votes, yes. Yep.
That will be the first item on the agenda on the special call meeting.
Yes.
Okay, we got, Commissioner Harvey, you're recognized.
Thank you. So this is a question from Mr. Carter and Mr. Price. My
Yes.
question,
Get your steps in today, Chuck, come on up.
my question is, what is your financial strategy for maintaining these substantially escalated salaries over the next several years?
I will not tolerate that. And we also have a room.
Imagine if you or your child, a son, had been saving up for him to attend college. You or your son had accumulated a substantial amount of money in a savings account to pay for the essentials of his college education. Upon graduating, your child tells you that he wants to use that savings for a down payment on a house. Questioning this decision, you may ask, so how do you expect to make the monthly payments on this house over the next 30 years? Similarly, my question for Mr. Carter and the Sullivan County School Board is, how do you expect to pay for these escalated salaries over the next several years? Given that the salary increases provided this budget year will be compounded year after year, yet the fund balance to pay for these salaries is finite and limited, where do you expect to get the funds in your regular budget to sustain these salaries in the future? To be clear, I am a huge supporter of education, perhaps to a fault to some of my commission colleagues. I've lived and breathed the value of education, serving as education manager at Eastman for several years. But more importantly, by being married to a selfless educator who diligently served 40 years as a teacher, coach, and administrator at every level, elementary, middle, and high school. 37 of those 40 years were in Sullivan County schools. I have personally experienced the financial hardship in being married to an educator. When I quit work at Eastman to stay at home with our firstborn son 39 years ago, I learned that our single teacher coach salary to support a family of 3 actually qualifies for food stamps. Rather than accepting these, I chose to operate a small business from home to supplement our salary until I returned to work full-time. My husband also worked every summer of his 40 years. So to be absolutely clear, I believe wholeheartedly that teachers deserve a pay increase.
Commissioner, we need to get to the question.
I am deeply grateful for each and every educator in this county. That being said, this is not an emotional issue. It is a financial issue. This is not my money. This is our taxpayers' money. So the question that the educators in Sullivan County should be asking their school board members is this one. Since the financials over the past 6 years show that the school system had several $1 million left over in their annual budgets each year, which could have covered a pay increase for school personnel each of those years, why did they fail to do this 5 out of the last 6 years? Why are the school personnel deserving this year of a 15% increase, but they were not deserving of any increase, in fact 0, as stated by many of the teachers themselves addressing this commission over the past 2 years? Understandably, there was a major school being built in Sullivan County. However, it is the sole responsibility of the school board members to prioritize their expenditures. Did the brick and mortar issues over the past several years take priority over deserving school personnel getting consistent salary increases? Where was the emotional cry for a pay increase the last 2 years? Had the school board consistently provided even a modest increase for their school personnel over the past 6 years, the salaries would meet the expectations today without having to take millions of dollars out of their emergency fund to pay for a substantial 15% increase at one time, with no identified strategic plan on how to sustain these salaries in the coming year. In short, I am not opposed to the what here, that is, a pay increase, but I am concerned with the how. Going forward, how will we secure the additional revenues needed to sustain these salaries in the future? Thank you.
Chuck, before you answer, I'd like to recognize Commissioner Evans.
Yes, just to go on, someone sent me a text about this. In the packet that is on your desk, says that their schedule is their budget is actually separate on this part of it, you have the desk. That shows their appropriations from 89 million to 97 million. So it was just a misprint in this packet, but it is here to be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, Director, where do you, I'll give you a shot at answering that.
That's a really good presentation, thank you, Ms. Harvey. So, what I would say to answer that is, I can't speak to years past first. That new leadership, new opportunity, new vision for what we're doing. We're under a new funding formula with TISA, which is a funding formula geared towards students. So I think first and foremost, it's our job to generate as much additional funding as we can through that TISA formula. You know, when you think about TISA, you can say, well, let's try to connect every dot to a dollar that we can. If our government did the right thing, then the TISA formula should be what's right for students. So we're not just chasing dollars, we're trying to do the best thing for students. Whether it's additional support, whether it's the resources, programs that we offer, whatever that is, that's rolled into the TISA. So number one, we have to generate. And so we've got to go out and promote ourselves. We've got to go out and recruit and get people to come back to Sullivan County that may not be in Sullivan County right now. One of our schools has, the principal contacted me today, as a matter of fact, and said, I've got students wanting to come to our school from Kingsport City Schools right now, and I need to know what to do. We're going to accept students from outside of Sullivan County because students from Sullivan County have in the past gone to those other school systems. So we can generate TISA dollars through that. Plus, we pick back up on the city-county split because we're no longer going into a deficit. We start bringing up and promoting getting students so that we have a plus instead of a negative there. So other ways to generate through the TISA formula, with the programs that we offer, getting more students in programs where they are getting the higher funding formula. Was at a presentation yesterday, as a matter of fact, in Chattanooga with the assistant commissioner of education, and she was mapping out how that's going to look through the career and technical education lens, and how we'll be able, by having in-demand or high-demand career programs with high sustainable wages and high skill, that we'll be able to generate more money than if we offered those programs that are down lower on the tiers. So there's going to be numerous ways that we can generate through getting students back into Sullivan County. We have our blended learning, our virtual offer that we're going to be promoting as well. Our goal is to get students back in that way. So number one, we're going to be marketing Sullivan County. There's no reason why Sullivan County can't be the leader in Sullivan County. And I believe that we have the people to do that. Next, being physically conservative. Obviously that's been what's done in the past, because that's how the money's been added to the fund balance, is to be physically conservative. So we still want to be conservative. We're looking at numbers always, looking at ways that we can, if there's a position that someone retires, we look at the numbers and we're making sure that that position needs to be replaced, and not through attrition, not by losing anybody's job, but through attrition. We hope that we can continue to tighten our belt there. And then finally, and other opportunities that I can present as we go along, but finally, I would like to think that if we're showing our due diligence, if we're doing our part, and we come to the county commission next year and we say, here's what we've done, here's how we've tightened our belt, here's how we've generated funds, then our county commission will partner with us and help us along with this next year and the years going forward. So that's the best estimate that I can give you right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Carr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple questions for Commissioner Akers.
Yes.
So just so we're on the same page, we're looking at a 9-cent property tax increase?
Yes.
Okay. And just a follow-up question, if we wanted to avoid doing a property tax increase, how much would we have to cut from the budget?
About $5.5 million.
$5.5 million?
Yep.
All right.
That's a kind of a profit, it's 5 point.
Okay. Rough. All right. Thank you.
Mr. Cross.
Just a point of clarification on Resolution 6. You mentioned there just a moment ago about the schedule attached. Can you give me the page that's on? Because I still can't seem to find that anywhere.
Yes, you can. Apparently, apparently the person who's making the copies forgot to put that on there, and only has it on my desk.
Is that the nonprofit?
No, John didn't make a copy of the Resolution 6 schedule.
I don't have the agenda, so I don't know which resolution is
6
which one is 6.
of the school amendment.
That the only copy that I have was the one that was sent.
Yeah, hold on.
So
I have it, it's in order. We will make sure everybody gets a copy of it, but it does show the 89 million to 79 million. And I guess I only put a copy of it on my desk for read. Yeah, yeah. But I thought John had to make copies of everything. So it is in order, and I'll read it so it's at least a little bit in order. It is. Well, like you're saying, you're talking about, the schedule is attached reflecting the amounts necessary to bring the 24 fiscal year general purpose school fund appropriations to the amounts as requested by the Sullivan County Board of Education, as presented to the Budget Committee and subsequently approved by that body for submission to the County Commission. It's four pages, two front back right here. But essentially, like Chairman Price said, in the actual budget document, that's why there's going to be four things to put on. The budget document showcases the $89,919,142. Now, what the school budget came back in, that was recommended by the Budget Committee. I'm just reading the appropriations, I'm not reading out loud. $97,874,914. So that's a difference of $7,954,872. So I want to get that all read, but it is here for everybody, and John will have all the copies for everybody. And that is resolution 6.
It's important to note too, that is not related to the tax increase.
Right. Yeah, we were going to need to do a couple, like add a penny to the school fund no matter what, for maintenance of effort and everything, so. Yeah.
We're going to make copies of that right now, Mr. Cross, or passing it. Because, you know, we started a little late today, and these things are all the way to their last minute.
I'm not doing another resolution for a copy now.
You don't need to.
All right.
Okay, we got Commissioner Joe McRae. Mr. McRae, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. So we're using 5 million from our reserve, is that correct?
A little over about 5.6.
And the 9 cents, that's raising about
3.6. So we'll still be 2 million.
Okay.
Yeah, but a couple of the funds, the highway department, so the whole 9 cents is not all in the general fund. 4 cents to the general fund, because we'll still be going backwards about 2 million, which will put us a little under 15 million, give or take, everything. Solid waste fund is having to use some of their capital, which I mean, that's what it's there for, to do something, but it's going to get them down a little lower. Highway department, same thing. And then the 1 cent that we need to put on the school to make this better. So all that adds up to that. Yeah.
And I guess my question was geared more prospectively. So next year, is that another tax increase just to meet that reserve? Or should this tax increase balance the budget for next year?
We will work diligently to balance it. So we're still, the last 2 years, we're down over $4 million in revenue because of only collecting 66% of our taxes. This year we'll get ready to have the reappraisal. And so if we come back to 100% of collection of taxes, so the last 2 years, we've also planted close to $8 million in revenue.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any further questions for the sponsor, and then we will consider these individually, and that will be the only resolution on the calendar for the July 30th meeting, and we will handle them in the order hour. And any other questions? I do want to make a comment. Back up the telephone, okay? Mr. Glover.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In our package, it's $89,919,142, and in the resolution, it's got $97,874,910. Is that correct?
$97,874,014. I apologize.
So that's an increase of $7,900,000.
$54,872.
Okay. So the budget committee agreed on the $97,874,000?
On a vote of 7-1, yes, sir. Budget committee agreed to bring it to the full commission.
Okay. Okay. I agree with Ms. Harvey, and I agree with a lot of the other commissioners in here. I mean, we got to have something in place to help us in the future with this money. And I would like to touch base on a couple statistics that I've got here. In 2018, when we first got here, the year-end balance in the school budget was $12,134,551. In 18 to 19, the year-end balance was $17,911,117. In 2019 and 20, it was $22,059,073. In 2020, it was an increase of $4 million, year-end left over $4,170,000. Excuse me, $147,000. In 2021, it's $14,992,000, and that's the year that the raises was given. I think it dropped $7,066,000, but 21-22, we picked that back up. The county commission did. And in 21-22, the year-end balance for the school department was $17,519,669, with a year overgrowth of $2,526,000. 22-23, year-end balance of $21,142,896, with a year overgrowth of $3,623,227. And when you look at the budget year approved to spend, in 2022-23, the approved to spend is $87,525,242. The amount not used is $5,462,932. Then on top of that, the teaser money came in 23-24. It was about $4 million more than the DEP money. So that was a total of about $14 million came from the state. And that's my question. I mean, we're going to sit here and vote on a budget to increase the school department from $89,919,142 to $97,874 for raises when they've got money in their account to do those raises with.
That's what they're asking. That's exactly what we're doing.
So I'm not gonna,
That's the question.
I'm not gonna have comment.
But in the next year and years to come, that's what we're expecting. And I would like to say that Mr. Carter's point here about the students, in 2023-24, they lost 289 kids. For a loss of 2,543 kids, Sullivan County Schools, 10-year decline in students. So that's the only question I've got. I want something to help us maintain how we're going to fund this for the next years down the road. That's the only question I've got.
Okay, Mr. Jones.
It's the call meeting on the 25th. I didn't hear the time for that. It's going to be at 6 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
What day? Mr. Vanover, you're recognized.
Thank you, sir. Looking at the school budget, Commissioner Glover said, you think they should use their fund balance to fund the raise. That's what they're doing, I think.
Yeah, they are this year.
This year. Well, we definitely do need to have something in place, but, this year it does come from the fund balance, and we can't really criticize them for having a fund balance and not using it, that they are using here for the raises. So I think that's good, and I totally 100% agree we've got to have something in place for the future to make it sustainable. So just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Clear. Push button. You're recognized.
The same question was, not, it's great that you're using fund balance. I'm totally 100% on board with that. Have no problem with it at all. I'm glad to see them get them the rest. Especially glad to see the support staff getting something that they haven't got. Mr. Fields touched base on that. I appreciate that. Some of those folks over there, the year that they're supposed to be taken care of, got 1%. And one of the little fellows showed me here about 2 weeks ago, his paycheck stub, $742 over 2 weeks. These folks can't sustain that. And they should have been taken care of the same way. But that was the question I've got. I'm glad they're using their fund balance this year. But are they going to use it next year and the year after? Or is it going to be brought back in here to us? We'll have to raise taxes on the taxpayers of Sullivan County
25 or 30 cents to help pay for this.
That's the question. I just wanted to make sure that we all realize that the raise this year is coming from the fund balance. And of course, that is the question, the sustainability of it. And so, we're in the same page.
I usually don't take volunteers, so.
We'll try to,
You're right
we'll
now.
try to give you a little bit of information.
You're right now.
Thanks, sir. This is not new, I mean, this is very new, Mr. Carter, a lot of us on the board, right? What we've got is a good thing, I promise you. And what they're gonna do, and what Mr. Carter's vision is, trust us a little bit, give us some time. I have confidence we can make this work. It is a big ask, a big risk, I guess you could say, but I'm confident if you give it a shot and support us, we work together. We're not asking for a penny tax increase for the school this time. Like you said, we'll work together with you. We're short a little bit next year, maybe you can help us. But we want to work together. He's got a good thing going, the school system's got a good thing going, let's give it a shot.
Very good. Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
That's what I want to know the dates.
One thing, and then we're having a motion to adjourn.
So remember, July 25th at 3 p.m. is the public comment period. That's where the public can come, look at the budget, make any comments. July 30th at 6 p.m. is the call meeting to vote on the 4 resolutions of the budget. Motion to adjourn.
So moved. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. We're adjourned.